Hi there, my name is Heather Ness. Welcome to another one of my episodes. Today we're going to talk about life paths, how to calculate your life path, and also I'm going to talk about life path 1, 2, and 3. So this is going to be one part of a four-part series. I'll be covering all the life paths and a basic overview of each of them. So let's go ahead and get started. So now let's first talk about how do you calculate your life path. Your life path is determined by your date of birth. So it's the main theme in your entire life because it's the thing that can never change, right? The day you're born can't change. You can change your name, so that can change some of your energy. So that's part of the reason why I feel the life path is such an important number. So how you calculate your life path is you'll take your date of birth, right? Your given date of birth, your month, your day, and your year. I usually start calculating the year. So let's say we have someone that was born October 13th, 1994. We're going to add up 1994. Remember, our goal is to get every digit in those columns down to an individual single number, unless it happens to be a master number. A master number is a number that repeats. So like an 11 would be a number that we wouldn't reduce. That would be considered an 11-2 number. Then there's also a 22, 22-4 number. So we wouldn't reduce that because it'd be a 22. And then a 33 or a 33-6 number. Those three numbers we don't reduce to a single digit because those are considered master numbers. Outside of those three numbers, we reduce them to a single digit. So if we take 1994 and we add the 1, the 9, the 9, and the 4 together, we're going to come up with the number 23. Okay, 23 is still a 2-digit number that doesn't repeat, so we're going to make sure we reduce that one more time. So we're going to add the 2 and we're going to add the 3 together, which is going to bring us to a 5. Okay, so the year of 1994 is a 5 universal year. Then we're going to look at the date of birth. In the example that we're talking about, we talked about someone that was born October 13th. So the day of birth is the 13th. We're going to add the 1 and the 3 together, which will bring us to a 4, okay? And then October is a 1 and a 0, right? So if we add those two together, it's a 1. So if we add October, which is a 1, 13th, which is a 4, and 1994, which is a 5, we have a person with a life path 10. Now, life path 10 isn't actually a life path, so we're going to reduce that to a 1. So in this example, we have someone that is a life path 1, okay? So now that we have a life path 1, let's talk about what life path 1s are all about. Life path 1s are really the leader energy. It's part of the leadership group of numbers, and it is the original leader. Some examples of life path 1, like celebrities, would be Miley Cyrus. She's definitely a great example of a life path 1. She's an original. She's because life path 1s are very confident. They bring leadership energy. They're innovative. They come up with really creative ideas. They're usually sort of someone that is very forward thinking and maybe even have ideas that are before their time, right? Again, they're creative. And so that really is a great example of Miley Cyrus, right? She's extremely creative. She's innovative. Her music is always cutting edge. She always kind of knows what the next thing is going to be before it really becomes big, and she optimizes on that. And part of the thing, another example of a life path 1 would be Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga is also very forward thinking. She's also very much a leader in her arena. She is innovative and definitely leadership energy, right? She takes center stage, and when she does, she's the one there. And then we also have Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is a great example of the life path 1. Again, creative, forward thinking, right? He came up with Apple. That right there is just incredible. He came up with so much. Very self-confident. And those three people really give you a great scope and understanding of a life path 1. Part of the shadow side of a life path 1, and the reason why they're here, right? Your life path is what you're really supposed to grow into, what you're supposed to embody as a soul. And we all know that to really come into ourselves and embody who we are, it takes time for us to develop that. So one of the shadow sides of a 1 is a lack of self-confidence. A little bit of self-doubt would definitely be the shadow side of a life path 1. That's one of the things that they're in this life to learn, is to push through any fear, any self-doubt, to really lean into the leader that they're supposed to be. Many times they will be put in situations or circumstances that require them to step into being a leader and taking that leadership role, whether it's being given the opportunity to become a manager in the role that you're in, or maybe it's the fact that a manager resigned and now you're the most obvious person to step in and lead that team in the interim. But you will constantly be put in situations where you are required to take the lead. Part of a life path is really there to encourage us and put us in situations that will allow us and kind of require us to learn that lesson. And the main lesson of a 1 is being the innovative leader. And so some really good careers that many life path 1s will find themselves in, obviously in some kind of a leadership role, whether it's a manager or a director role, something along those lines, leading a team. And sometimes it doesn't have to be a big team. It could be a team of 3, right? It could be something small, and then it could even be something much larger enterprise. They are entrepreneurs at heart. Because they are creative thinkers and they think of ideas that sometimes are a little bit before their time. They find that being an entrepreneur just really feels right for them because it allows them to be the leader. No one else is the boss of them. And it allows them to really grow the idea that they have. A politician is also a great example of a life path 1. Many politicians are life path 1s. They're really driven to become the leader and the spokesperson of their group. A lawyer is another great example. And then obviously, someone that could even be in the creative field, a creative artist like Miley Cyrus and like Lady Gaga. Those both are great examples of the creative side of the life path 1. So now let's talk about life path 2. Life path 2 is really the, I would say, is all about harmony and balance, right? So if we think of a life path 1 being very singular, and now we look at a life path 2 being very flowy, life path 2s are really all about balance. They're about duality. They like harmony and peace. Some great examples of a life path 2 would be Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez is a life path 2. Also with life path 2s, they're very romantic and sentimental. They like to be in partnerships. Like I said in a previous episode or video, we talked about how a life path 2 very much enjoys being in a partnership. They don't have to be the one in front. Like a life path 1, they want to be the one in front, leading the charge. Life path 2s are really happy when they happen to be the power behind the throne. They are really happy. They don't have to be in the spotlight. They are happy supporting their partner or the other person. So they make great nurses, counselors. You'll find them as stylists, right? Hairstylists or any kind of a stylist, something, maybe even a nail technician, because they really are there as a counselor, because their heart is really in serving and making peace and making a harmonious environment. They also tend to be the ones that are in partnerships right away, or the habitual person that's in a partnership, hence Jennifer Lopez. Another great example of a life path 2 would be Kobe Bryant. Him and his obviously he's passed away, but him and his wife, when he was alive, they started a foundation that his wife is continuing for children. And so they really want to lead with their heart. One of the shadow sides of a life path 2 would be, giving to the point of resentment. because they are very much like a giver and a harmonizer. They're like a peaceful harmony in their life. Sometimes they will give so much to make everyone else in their life very happy, where it hinders their ability to be happy. So one of the things that they have to learn is balance, hence Life Path 2. It's okay to give, but you've also got to receive, and you've also got to be fulfilled, and you are just as important as the people around you. So, to make sure that you don't neglect your own personal needs or anything like that. And they're also highly emotional and sensitive. They are naturally gifted when it comes to, maybe being a little more psychic, or really, as people like to call being an empath. They really feel what everyone else is feeling very easily, which is one of the reasons why they want to harmonize and make everyone feel good, because in return it also makes them feel good. And now let's talk about Life Path 3. Life Path 3 is sort of the combination of a 1 and a 2, right? Life Path 3, if you look at the symbol itself, the number, it's almost like 2 horseshoes. So it is a very lucky number. It brings a bit of magnetism to it. They are very much expression driven. They're great communicators. They love to express, whether it be through performance or communicating. They're kind of like the creative artists. They like to be in flow all the time. One of the hallmarks of Life Path 3 is a really beautiful big smile. They kind of bring that energy of joy and happiness wherever they go. So a good example of a Life Path 3 would be Cameron Diaz. She brings that joyful energy. She has that really beautiful smile that sort of can light up a room. You also have someone like Reese Witherspoon, another one that has that beautiful energy that's very creative and flowy, and it has a really beautiful smile that lights up the room. Another Life Path 3 would be Katy Perry, right? She's also very much a great example of a Life Path 3, being very creative and very artistic. They, like I said before, they're very optimistic and joyful. They are just fun to be around. They have that really fun kind of youthful energy. And they bring that kind of like youthful, fun spirit everywhere they go. They are, one of the shadow sides of a Life Path 3 is sometimes crippling self-doubt. That also is a little bit of a Life Path 2, a little bit of self-doubt. But with a Life Path 3, they have a hard time with criticism. They really fear it. And so they are meant to be very much performance and expressive driven. So the lessons around their life is going to really push them into that performance kind of environment, the artistic environment, that it's going to put them in situations where they have to express how they feel, to push them through that fear of criticism and that fear of self-doubt, right? Or that self-doubt that they have. Some great, careers that Life Path 3s will find themselves in are careers like being a presenter or a speaker, just because they're meant to be really expressive and they're really good at communicating how they feel. Being an entertainer or performer, right? They kind of bring that fun, playful energy to it. And so, and they've got that creative kind of vibe to them. And then also being a writer. Many of them will find themselves in writing or being very good at writing, or maybe, guided towards something that is writing or being expressive in some way. And because they are such great communicators and they're sort of quick-witted and they're very playful, they make fantastic salespeople. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This is going to be the first video of a 4-part series where I'm going to talk about all the life paths, sort of in general, what they're all about, their shadow side, and some great careers for these life paths. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you like the video, share it if you enjoyed it and you feel like you know someone that would also enjoy it, and I'd love to meet you in the comments. So say hi, and I'd love to say hi back. Thank you again, and we'll see you in the next video.